Love. Turns out Amon loves winter sports. It's the last thing I would have imagined, but he names professional snowboarders and skiers and figure skaters in the same tone reserved for his favorite rappers. X, I'm serious. Even made Pops pay for a special TV channel so I could keep up. At first I think he's joking, but the way his eyes light up, I can tell this is really a passion of his. Maybe like my writing, a secret thing he's loved that he never felt he could talk about. He tells me that in Trinidad he was fascinated by snow, and watching the Winter Olympics was the closest he could get, and then that became a bigger love. X, I'm letting you know right now, I'm nice with the skates. Prepare to fall in love tomorrow. And my heart stutters over the word. How could I do anything but agree to the date? Thursday, November 8th. Around and around we go. The next day shines perfect. I invite Twin to come along, but he only turns his back to me and keeps on pretending to sleep. He's still upset about my showing up to his school, and I'm trying to give him space. Amon is near the skate rental when I arrive, and all around us kids are walking and laughing. He holds out a pair of skates, and after we are laced up and have rented a locker, we walk awkwardly on the ice. I take a deep breath at the pang of nostalgia. So many good memories at Lasker Rink. I hope to add one more. I step onto the ice, and it all comes back to me. Amon hasn't moved, and I backward skate, slowly crooking my finger at him. I blush immediately. I'm never the one to make the first move, but he seems to like it and steps onto the ice. He starts off slow, and we both face forward, skating side by side. Then, it's like something comes over him, and I realize he wasn't lying. He's fucking amazing. Amon gets low and gains speed, then does turns and figure eights. I wait for him to start flipping and somersaulting, but he just slows down and grabs my hand. We skate that way for a while, then exit the rink to eat nachos. Amon, how did you learn all that? You're so good. He grins at me and shrugs. I came here and practiced a lot. My pops never wanted to put me in classes, said it was too soft. And now his smile is a little sad, and I think about all the things we could be if we were never told our bodies were not built for them. After skating. When Amon walks me to the train, he immediately pulls me to him. We never kiss so publicly, but with his lips on mine, I realize I want the same thing. And I know that it's stupid, too easy to run into someone from the block or one of Mommy's church friends, but I just want to keep this moment going. When he tugs on my hand and pulls me even closer, I let him make me forget. Twin's anger, confirmation class, the train smell, the people around us, or the stand clear of the closing doors, please. And I know people are probably staring, probably thinking, horny high school kids can't keep their hands to themselves. But I don't care, because when our lips meet for those 3 stops before I get off, it's beautiful and real and what I wanted. We are probably the only thing worth watching anyways. Maybe we're doing our train audience a favor, reminding them of first love. This body on fire. Walking home from the train, I can't help but think Amon's made a junkie out of me, begging for that hit, eyes wide with hunger, blood on fire, licking the flesh, waiting for the refresh of his mouth. Fiend begging for an inhale, whatever the price, just so long as it's real nice, real nice. Blood on ice, waiting for that warmth, that heat, that fire. He's turned me into a fiend, waiting for his next word, hanging on his last breath, always waiting for the next time. The shit and the fan. I hear Mommy's yelling through the apartment door before I even turn the key, which isn't right because she shouldn't be home yet. It isn't even 4 o'clock. I mean, I did miss my stop because I didn't want to quit Amon's kisses. Se lo estaba comiendo, had her tongue down his throat, some little dirty boy. I had to get off the train a stop early. And I know then, Mommy's eyes were a fan, and my makeout session on the train was the shit hitting it. Lucky me, she's yelling from her bedroom, and I let myself into the one I share with Twin, click the door shut, and slide down to put my head between my legs. I don't know how much time has passed before Twin pushes open the door, and even though through the wall of his silence, he understands something is wrong. He crouches next to me, but I can't warn him of the storm that's coming. I can't even be grateful he's speaking to me again. I try to make all the big of me small, small, small. Miracles. My parents are still yelling in the bedroom, and because I never yell back at them, I don't scream at my father when he calls me a cuero. I don't yell how the whole block whispers when I walk down the street about all the women who made a cuero out of him. But men are never called cueros. I don't yell anything, because for the first time in a long time, I'm praying for a miracle, pinching myself and hoping this is all one bad dream, trying to unhear my mother turn my kissing ugly, my father call me the names all the kids have called me since I grew breasts. God, if you're a thing with ears, please, please. Fear. Zia, what did you do now? I don't look at Twin, because if I look at him, I'll cry. And if I cry, he'll cry. And if he cries, he'll get yelled at by Poppy for crying. He pushes up to standing, then kneels in front of me again, like his body doesn't know what to do. Zio? And I want to kick the fear in his voice. Zio, do they know you're home yet? Maybe you can sneak out through the fire escape. I won't tell, But Mommy's chancletas beat against the floorboards, and Twin and I both know. He pushes to his feet, and I see his hands are balled up into fists he'll never use. When the footsteps stop outside our door, I stand, brace my shoulders. I didn't do anything wrong, Twin. Go back to your homework or your flirting or whatever. I didn't do anything at all. Ants. Mommy drags me by my shirt to her altar of the Virgin, pushes me down until I kneel. Look the Virgin Mary in the eye, girl. Ask for forgiveness. I bow my head, hoping to find air in the tiles. My big is impossible to make tiny, but I try to make ant of myself. Don't make me get more rice. Mira la Santa Maria in the eye. I've learned that ants hold 10 times their weight. Look at her, muchacha. Mirala. Can crawl through crevices, have no God, but crumbs. Last chance, Xiomara. Santa Maria, llena eres de gracias. They will survive the apocalypse. Little brown ants, and hill building ants, and fire ants, all red, and I am no ant. My mother yanks my hair, pulling my face up from the tiles, constructing a church arch of my spine until Mary's face is an inch from mine. I am no ant, only sharply torn, something broken in my mother's hand. Diplomas. This is why you want to go away for college, so you can open your legs for any boy with a big enough smile. You think I came to this country for this, so you can carry a diploma in your belly but never a degree? Tu no vas a ser un maldito cuero. Cuero. Cuero, she calls me to my face, the Dominican word for hoe. This is what a cuero looks like. A regular girl, pocketless jeans that draw grown men's eyes, long hair, a nose ring, a lip ring, a tongue ring, extra earrings, any ring but a diamond one on her left hand. Skirts, shorts, tank tops, spaghetti straps. A cuero lets the world know she is hot. She can feel the sun. A spectacular girl with too much ass, too much lip, too much sass. Hips that look like water waiting to be spilled into the hands of thirsty boys. A plain girl with nothing llamativo, nothing that calls attention. A forgotten girl, one who parts her hair down the middle, who doesn't have cleavage, whose mouth doesn't look like it is forever waiting. Un maldito cuero. I am a cuero, and they're right. I hope they're right. I am. I'll be anything that makes sense of this panic. I'll loosen myself from this painful flesh. See, a cuero is any skin. A cuero is just a covering. A cuero is a loose thing, tied down by no one, fluttering and waving in the wind, flying, flying, gone. Mommy says, there be no clean in men's hands, even when the dirt has been scrubbed from beneath nails, when the soap scent from them suspends in the air, there be sins there. Their washed hands know how to make a dish rag of your spine, wring your neck. Don't look for pristine handling when men use your tears for pine sol. They'll mop the floor with your pride. There be no clean there, girl. Their fingers were made to scratch dirt, to find it in the best of things. Make your heart a Brillo pad, brittle and steel. Don't be no damn sponge. Their fingers don't know to squeeze nicely. Nightly, if you imagine men's kisses, soft touches, a caress, remember Adam was made from clay that stains the hand. Remember that Eve was easily tempted. Repetition. Mommy's hands make me dizzy and nauseous. Mommy prays and prays while my knees bite into grains of rice. Mommy repeats herself while her statue of the Virgin watches. The whole house witnesses as I pray this steep, steep price. Things you think while you're kneeling on rice that have nothing to do with repentance. I once watched my father peel an orange without once removing the knife from the fruit. He just turned and turned and turned it like a globe being skinned, the orange peel becoming a curl, the inside exposed and bleeding. How easily he separated everything that protected the fruit and then passed the bowl to my mother, dropping that skin to the floor while the inside burst between her teeth. Another thing you think while you're kneeling on rice that has nothing to do with repentance. My mother has never had soft hands. Even when I was a child, they were rough from pushing wooden mops and scrubbing tiles. But when I was little, I didn't mind. We would walk down the street and I would rub her calluses. She would smile and say I was her premio for hard work. I was her premio for patience, and I loved being her reward, the golden trophy of her life. I just don't know when I got too big for the appointed pedestal. The last thing you think while you're kneeling on rice that has nothing to do with repentance. How you will have deep grain-sized indents on your knees. How lucky you are your jeans protect the skin from breaking. How you will be walking slow to school. How kneeling on pews was never as bad as this. How neither your father nor brother say anything. How you feel cold, but blood is rushed to your face. How your fists are clenched, but they have nothing to hit. How the stinging pain shoots up your thighs. How you've never gritted your teeth this tight. How it hurts less if you force yourself still, still, still. How pointless these thoughts are, any of them. How kissing should never hurt so much. Leaving. Twin presses a bag of frozen mixed vegetables against my knees and another against my cheek. You're lucky, you know. She's growing old. She didn't make you kneel very long. And with the stings still fresh on my skin, I'm not in a place to nod, but I know it's true. Zio, just don't get in trouble until we can leave. Soon we can leave for college. I've never heard Twin sound so desperate. Never thought he dreamed of leaving just like me. I try not to be resentful he skipped a grade and will escape sooner. I try not to be upset at his soft touch. I elbow him away, afraid of how my hands want to hurt everything around me. What do you need from me? It is such a simple question, but when Caridad texts Twin the message to show to me, I look at him and hand the phone back. I'm not mad that he told her. I know they're both just worried, but all I need is to give in to what I wouldn't let myself do in front of Mommy. I curl into a ball and weep. Consequences. My mother drops the word no like 100 grains of rice. I will kneel in these too. No cell phone, no lunch money, no afternoons off from church, no boys, no texting, no hanging around after school, no freedom, no time to myself, no getting out of confession with Father Sean this Sunday. Late that night. The only person I want to talk to is Amon, and although Twin offers to let me use his phone, I don't know what I'd say. That we had a great day, and that it all fell apart. That my heart hurts more than my knees. That we can't be together anymore. That I would take that beating again to be with him. Maybe there are no words to say. I just want to be held. Friday, November 9th, in front of my locker. I'm so out of it the next morning as I put my things away in my locker that I don't notice the group of guys circling near until one bumps me, both his hands palming and squeezing my ass. And I can tell by how his boys laugh and how he smirks while saying, "Oops," that this was not an accident. I scan the hall. Other kids have slowed down. Some girls whisper behind their hands. The group of boys laugh, begin walking away. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Amon slowing to a standstill, his smile fading. For the first time since I can remember, I wait. I can't fight today. Everything inside me feels beaten, and maybe I won't have to. Amon is here. He'll do something about it. Of course, as a boy who cares about me. He's not going to let someone touch me and make me feel so damn small inside. Of course, as someone who I've talked to about how weird it feels to be stared at and touched like public property, he'll know how much this bothers me. But Amon doesn't move. All the things I needed to tell him about last night, all the things that have changed since we last kissed on the train, evaporate in the heat of my anger. I feel my knees throbbing, the rice bruises pressing into the fabric of my sweats, and I think about how Amon is the reason I was punished in the first place. He's not going to throw a punch. He's not going to curse or throw a fit. He's not going to do a damn thing, because no one will ever take care of me but me. Pushing away from my locker, I face the dude who groped me. Push him hard in the back. He stumbles, but before he can react, I look him dead in the eye. If you ever touch me again, I'll put my nails through every pimple on your fucking face. I push my locker closed and grill Amon before walking away. That goes for you too. Thanks for nothing. Part 3. The voice of one crying in the wilderness. Silent world. All of Friday and the weekend, the world I've lived in wears masking tape over its mouth. I wear invisible Beats headphones that muffle sound. I don't hear teachers or Father Sean or Twin or Caridad. Amon tries to speak to me, but even in bio, I pretend my ears are cotton-filled. I speak to no one. The world is almost peaceful when you stop trying to understand it. Sunday, November 11th. Heavy. After Mass on Sunday, under Mommy's knowing eyes, I step to Father Sean. He's kissing babies and talking to old people, but he gives me his full attention. I ask to meet him for confession, and I can't tell if I imagine it, but his eyes almost seem to get soft. He glances behind me, where Mommy is standing. Instead of the confessional, he tells me to meet him in the rectory, the well-lit meeting space behind the church. And I don't know how much truth my tongue will stumble through. I walk through the side door and avoid looking at the pictures of the saints. I'm always avoiding something, and it seems as heavy as any cross. My confession. How do you admit a thing like this? You would think I was pregnant, the way my parents act, like I let them down. And by my parents, I mean Mommy. Poppy mostly huffs around, telling me I better do what Mommy says, and Mommy huffs around, saying I better read Proverbs 31 more closely. And I just want to tell them it's not that deep. I don't got an STD or a baby. It was just a tongue in my mouth. So I'm not sure what to tell Father Sean when I meet him in the rectory. Maybe I don't remember my Bible right, but I don't think this is one of the 7 sins. He sits across from me and crosses his ankles. Whenever you're ready, we can talk. I'm guessing you don't need anonymity, and I thought this would be cozier than the confessional. Do you want tea? I look at my clasped hands, because I can't look him in the face. I think I committed lust and disobeyed my parents. although they never actually said I couldn't kiss a boy on the train, so I'm not sure if that's the right sin. I wait for Father Sean to speak, and he just stares at the picture of the Pope above me. Are you actually sorry, Xiomara? I wait a moment, and then I shake my head. No. Say, I'm sorry I got in trouble. I'm sorry I have to be here, that I have to pretend to you and her that I care about confirmation at all. But I'm not sorry I kissed a boy. I'm only sorry I was caught, or that I had to hide it at all. Father Sean says, our God is a forgiving God, even when we do things we shouldn't. Our God understands the weakness of the flesh, but forgiveness is only granted if the person is actually remorseful. And I think this goes much deeper than kissing a boy on the train. Prayers. Father Sean is Jamaican. His Spanish has a funky accent, and when he gives the gospel for the Latino Mass, half of the words be sounding made up. It makes the younger kids laugh. It makes our older folks smile. His Spanish, when he talks to my mother, does neither. His hazel eyes are sure and gentle when he looks at Mommy and tells her, Altagracia, I don't think Xiomara is quite ready to be confirmed. I think she has some questions we should let her answer first. He explains it's not what I confessed, but several questions I've asked and comments I've made make him think I should keep coming to classes, but not take the leap of confirmation this year. My mother's face scrunches tight, like someone has vacuumed all her joy. I avoid her eyes, but something must flash in them because Father Sean raises a hand. Altagracia, please be calm. Remember, anger is as much a sin as any Xiomara may have committed. We all need time to come to terms with certain things, don't we? And I know if Father Sean just granted me a blessing, I don't know if Father Sean just granted me a blessing or nailed my coffin shut. How can I tell? I can tell when Mommy is really angry because her Spanish becomes faster than usual, the words bumping into one another like go-karts. Mira muchacha, you will not embarrass me in church again. From now on, you're going to fix yourself. Do you hear me, Xiomara? No te lo voy a decir otra vez. But I know she will, in fact, tell me again and again. There are going to be some big changes. Before we walk in the house, you cannot turn your back on God. I was on my journey to the convent, prepared to be his bride when I married your father. I think it was punishment. God allowed me America, but shackled me with a man addicted to women. It was punishment to withhold children from me for so long until I questioned if anyone in this world would ever love me. But even business deals are promises, and we still married in a church, and so I never walked away from him, although I tried my best to get back to my first love. And confirmation is the last step I can give you. But the child sins just like the parent, because look at you, choosing this over the sacred. I don't know if you're more like your father or more like me.